Good afternoon and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Mike Wasdal along with you. Regular season for softball is drawing to an eye.
Jeff, it's hard to believe this is our last game of the academic athletic school year, and it just went, like we always say, poof, it just flew by all year, but we got a good one today here at the Bay City Central softball field.
Just like how we like to finish with the football season, basketball features Western at Bay City Central.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anytime the Wolves and the Warriors get together since 1972, they like to have fun. A lot of good games. We've seen a lot of good games, and it doesn't matter what they're competing against each other in. It's going to be a tough game for both squads, and looking forward to a really nice play game this afternoon. And we got some nice weather for a change. We haven't had great weather lately.
We have talked to some fans before coming up that said, for a change, we don't have to have 4 layers and our igloo out and trying to watch a game through all of it. But the beauty of this is bragging rights are at stake.
Well, you know, and again, we've talked so many times, you get to have those babies for at least 365 days, and you can walk around Bay City or Auburn and strut your stuff a little bit and say, yeah, remember on that date on May 15th that we beat you guys out there over at the field or whatever. And then it's just a lot of fun. It's good competition, and anytime you're playing your arch rival, it always means something more special.
Well, and a lot of times this wouldn't be the end. Most years they would have faced each other in a district, but Western is just over that Division I, Central just under. So Central's going to go to Swartz Creek, and Mount Pleasant is where Western is going to play.
You know, anytime you go to Mount Pleasant, that's always tough. So you're probably going to have some of the Midland schools over there.
High-Dow and Midland. Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. So that's a tough district. And then you go south to Flint, and you get Swartz Creek. The Dragons are usually pretty good, and you bring some of those Genesee County teams in there. So, you know, it's going to be a tough road to hoe, but they'll be prepared and ready to go.
6 seniors for Western will be in their last matchup against Bay City Central. They're just under 500 the year. Central's had just a little bit more success on the season, but it has a lot to do with pitching and location today as to who comes out on top.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of softball games. We love watching the girls, and you know, pitching is the key to all these games. And if they got somebody that's a good hurler for both squads, you could see a 0-0 game going into the bottom of the 7th. So that's the beauty of the girls softball.
And not a better place to watch it right here, right behind the backstop. We are just in a perfect spot. We'll be able to hear and see the game. We are excited about the possibilities.
Well, and the wind's blowing in. It's blowing right into from center field straight to the press box. Jeff's going to take quite a poke to get it out of here today, but you know what? Crazier things has happened. But this is a Central Western. You just never know.
Keep it played in the yard and between the lines.
That's right.
We're looking forward to the game here coming up in just a minute. That about puts the wraps on our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action in just a moment on BCTV.
Your heart drives you forward. And it's your heart that drives the Covenant Center for the Heart to be on the forefront of next-generation heart treatments, like minimally invasive valve replacements and advanced procedures for AFib. For the very young and the young at heart, depend on our experts at the most preferred health system. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Bay City Central's softball field. It's Danik Field here as Central and Western are ready to bat heads, as we'll start off with our first batter of the game. Kukla on the mound for Bay City Central, and she goes inside with her first offering, and it's Lejewski up to bat.
Yeah, they got the field looking. Field looks good. The infield looks great.
Yeah, Mike White and the crew, they were over here and making certain that it was going to look nice, and that this time of year as a facility director how to try and stay ahead of all this because it can get away from you in a hurry.
I'll tell you a little story about one of the old superintendents. You remember him well, Joe Gonzalez.
Yes, indeed.
My first year. If he saw a dandelion in there, he'd be calling myself up and Mr. John Lavery and say, why we got dandelions in our field?
Yeah, he doesn't want a dandelion, let alone many. Foul. As it's 2 balls and 2 strikes right now with the opening batter, but you love having a superintendent that prioritizes the athletic facilities.
This has really grown into a beautiful facility. You got the baseball, you got the softball, and the soccer field all on the same complex.
Another foul ball as the soccer field may take a couple of more years to fully mature, but what a great vision to have all of this in one complex right here. And, hey, you've got the space. Let's utilize it.
And they got a JV softball field over there, too, so you could have a nice tournament going on here.
Yep, the only field we've got missing is that ball just has seeing eye as it goes into very short left field. So the opening batter for the Western Warriors on base.
Lieski did a really nice job right there, Jeff. Just over the outstretched arms of the Central shortstop. No outs here in the top of the first. 1 man on for the Bay City Western Warriors.
Yep, as Zuba was playing at medium depth, and now they back up a step or two. They're looking to get at least that lead runner, if not a double play possibility. Western has other things in mind, though, as a strike 1 to Fallstick. As Fallstick is, again, the number 2 hitter for the Western offense. Nice change of pace, and that ball goes down to second base. And Lieski with a really nice jump, and that ball in the dirt, recognizing it and getting down safely to second.
Well, and a good pitch to go on, Jeff. That was a change-up right there by the pitcher for Bay City Central. So that was a good pitch to steal on.
So Kukla comes up a little bit high, 1 ball and 2 strikes, but getting that runner to second base takes away the force, takes away the double play. So now they've got to see if they're going to check and toss or if they're going to allow them to go to third. Their strategies is already going.
You're putting your softball hat back on back in the days when you were hanging out in Vets Park down there playing softball.
They're always trying to think ahead, the strategizing and what's going on. And as we got 2 balls and 2 strikes, as Kukla into the windup, just misses to the outside. We got a full count, and Western Warriors got to like the way the first 2 batters are looking thus far.
Yeah, looking good for Bay City Western with nobody out here in the top of the first. Full count.
Strike 3. That could not have worked out better for Kukla as she went upstairs, did a little bit. Looks like she might have taken just a touch off it, and the first out of the game with still a runner on second base. And Zemer will be the 3rd hitter up for Western. A little bit late on that first offering.
Didn't park your car back over behind here, did you? I don't want to see that beautiful car get a broken window or anything.
I parked at a safe spot. Nick said if that's safe for Jeff, I'm parking in front of him.
I parked in front of Nick.
Well, you should be like the Valley girls then today, for sure, for sure. Ball up high from Kukla. 1 ball and 1 strike here for the 3rd batter of the first inning. Yeah, the idea is to go home with a windshield that looked like it did when you showed up. Another late offering on that fastball from Kukla, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Kukla bringing a little bit of heat there for Bay City Central, Jeff. Another beautiful day, wind blowing in. We're very fortunate. We're up high. We're getting a nice breeze and staying nice and cool up here.
Indeed. See if Kukla goes off speed here, 1 and 2. As she did not. She came up, tried to make an offering there and just got a little bit up too high in the zone, and Don could not pick that ball up. So a runner at 3rd now with only 1 out and an early opportunity for the Western offense.
Yeah, Fallstick has made her way around to 3rd base, so big opportunity here for Bay City Western.
And that is a great, easy pop-up for Kukla. So 2 down right now, and you can make that play at first base.
Excuse me, that was Lieski over there on 3rd base, not Fallstick. I've had 1 mistake all year. Not bad.
No, I think that you're about 4 ahead of me then already, brother. Next up, we have got, that is Leah Schumann. And Leah is going to be looking to bring that first Western run home as Kukla rocks back and gets into the motion.
That was a nice pitch.
Right on the outside corner at the knees, and that is picture-perfect way to start this at-bat against the cleanup hitter.
That was a beauty. That was knee-high on the outside corner. Good pitch by Kukla.
Kukla goes up and expands the zone just a little bit, and that is Leah Schumann with an 0-2 count right now. So let's see if Kukla decides to nibble or if she's going to
bring the heat,
hit the attack mode. There you go. Coach has it. There's a ball that's hit deep in the hole to short. Over to Hemingway for the out, and after a half inning, the Western Warriors fail to score. The Bay City Central Lady Wolves will be up to bat in just a moment on BCTV.
My name's Kaya Vrabel. I'm from Carroll, Michigan. I came to Renew at McLaren because I was having some hip pain as an athlete in cross country and track and field. I actually had a labrum surgery on my right hip back in April of 2023, and so I had some rounds of physical therapy outside of Renew at McLaren, but it didn't really fit where I was trying to go, so I had some other problems and they recommended me here.
I was a physical therapist that was treating Kaya after she had a labral repair. First, after these surgeries, you're going to work on strength and range of motion, flexibility, and then you work on stability, functionally getting her back to her ultimate goal of running. So for athletes, making sure their body mechanics are good, their running mechanics, their stability is a big one to prevent injury in the future, working on stability, balance, controlling their jumps, eccentric control, and it's about avoiding future injuries as well as helping their current injury.
Physical therapy here has helped me improve my times and actually get a couple school records. I broke the 3,200 meter and then the 1,600 meter for my school.
So we worked on getting her back to her goal of running and dominating, actually.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Heading into the bottom of the first inning, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala, glad to have you along with us. Nick Page producing and directing. Greta Dijak, she is doing the scoreboard, and we're under the watchful eye of Allison Sobczak, our athletic director. So it's a who's who up here.
We're hanging around with some big hitters up here. Nick, Greta, Allison.
Well, it's just
we're not worthy.
Good for us to be in the company and the neighborhood of. So
we are not worthy.
1 ball and 1 strike as Zemer hits the circle for the first game for the Western Warriors. Again, 6 seniors, so we're looking at 8 total on the team. There's going to be a little transition year after this for Western, and that pitch is swung on and missed as Kukla leads off for Bay City Central.
Pitcher's leading off. That's pretty good. She must be a good stick, too.
She wants to contribute right off the bat.
Did a nice job on the mound there in the top of the first.
Is picking up a good eye. That ball way outside. More than just a skosh, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning for the Lady Wolves. Zemer lets one fly down the left field line, and just foul. So seeing her just a little bit out in front of that offering.
That was a just foul down the left field line, so that still makes count 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the first, Kukla is the first Lady Wolf up today, and she takes a ball 3.
Boy, she was way out in front of that off-speed offer, and it just came in a bit high. But she would have had a hard time getting her bat on it had that been in the strike zone. Full count pitch.
Good eye.
Just a little bit high, so working the walk, and that's probably one of the great reasons why she's the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that was a nice eye right there by Kukla on that high fast pitch. Lady on first. Nobody out for Bay City Central. We're going to get a pinch runner. That is number 8.
So ready to come up here now.
Win her, the pinch runner for Bay City Central, number 8.
And
Don is up for Bay City Central.
Central very potent at the top of their lineup. Their first 4 or 5 hitters all really have an opportunity to make something big happen. And, Eli Maciejewski getting ready to come up. She has been a triples machine this year for Bay City Central.
It's in the blood.
As Don fouls that off, kind of a swinging bunt as she was trying to maybe slap that ball down the opposite field, and that will make it 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Zemer gets the signal from her catcher, rocks back, and the offering on the inside. And
that hit her?
I did not see indication of it hitting her, but base advancement for the pinch runner for Bay City Central. Much like what happened with Western in the top of the first inning. You get a runner in scoring position early. And
very similar. Very similar.
See what they can make happen. That ball is just off the glove of the second baseman and just out of the way as
the second baseman is Kaylee Lajewski for the Bay City Western Warriors. That ball is hit pretty good. Moves the runner over to third. First and third for the Wolves. Nobody out. Coming in for the Wolves, the pinch runner. King is another pinch runner for Bay City Central. So they're utilizing everything they have, Jeff, for the Lady Wolves of Bay City Central.
And with Lajewski, again, that ball, as you said, was hit hard but up the middle. So really trying to hurry to make something happen, knowing that that was the only way she was going to have a shot at first base. Got it knocked down enough that it really didn't allow the pinch runner from third to score as the first offering comes up, and a very nice play on by Bay City Central. Western tried to catch the pinch runner from Bay City Central leaning forward to come home, but Central puts themselves with nobody out and runners in scoring position for second and third.
Yeah, that was a good play right there for the Wolves, Jeff. Second and third, nobody out. That's going to get a run.
That is going to get potentially. What a great catch. And having to go back and tag from second. That is going to be out at second base as that pinch runner for Bay City Central got caught in kind of no man's land between short and third. And boy, a double play in essence for the Western Warriors.
Well, nice job by the center fielder, Kaylee Grandison. Really went back. That ball was well hit, got caught up in the wind, Jeff. And the runner from Bay City Central really didn't think she was going to catch that ball. She got caught in a really bad spot between second and third, and a nice job by the Wolves to tag her out, and that'll be 1 out for Bay City Central.
Well, and that is part of your learning process as a base runner. You've got to understand that the wind is going to hold that ball up on a normal day here at Bay City Central. That's a 3-base hit.
Yeah.
But you got to love the fact that Granderson went out and got that ball and was able to get it back into the cutoff, and great communication from the bench to hustle that ball back to second to complete the double play. So that ball is up high as Eli Maciejewski has a very favorable 3-0 hitters count here in the bottom of the first inning with Central up 1-0. Eli, you got to know that your coach has confidence in you if you got the green light on 3-0. She had a good whack at that, and I think the first base coach may have been in total agreement with it.
Oh, I'm sure. And I see Dad.
Mama's out there.
Dad sitting down out there in left field. So I've watched that young lady grow up. I have had the privilege and honor of coaching Mr. Maciejewski, and when I was coaching with the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Cavazos, and George Spielhopter and I were on the varsity. So I've watched them grow up. Those mom and dad grow up, and their kids grow up. So it's been a fun treat for watching that family.
Indeed, we're blessed with the opportunity to see Papa Mike on a daily basis at BCC. As there's another shot up the middle, and that is another great catch by the center fielder, Grandison.
That ball was struck really well, too, and Grandison really had a nice jump on it, Jeff.
So Grandison is credited with saving 2 to 3 runs in this first inning. At the end of our first inning of play, Bay City Central 1, Western nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
All right, welcome back for the top of the second inning. We have got Kira Smith, the leadoff hitter, as Bay City Central Wolves. Kukla to Don battery here in the second inning, is right on the outside corner. Like the fact that Don does a great job of just centering that ball an inch or two in and then freeze framing it, giving the umpire a great look.
You think she's framing that picture very well?
Oh, very nice. As the ball just up high and 2 ball and 1 strike count.
Kira is the shortstop for the Lady Warriors. Probably another one of those seniors on the Western team.
As that ball is fouled off. And yes, indeed, one of the 8, 6 of which are starters. So very interesting to see how things are going to go for Coach Bill Sebald after this year. But they always seem to have a plan.
Yeah. You love it when a plan comes together, too.
Absolutely. Nice defensive swing there, and ball might have been a little on the inside, but hey, too close to take, and great job to get a piece of it and live for another pitch.
Kuku looks like she's got a nice little bit of rhythm going here, Jeff. She's throwing the ball extremely well here in the top of the second inning and pulled the string right there and went upstairs also for the strikeout.
Like the way that you elevate that fastball and you change the eye level a little bit, and that's a really tough pitch when you're coming with that type of velocity to catch up with it. Kukla as Jada Bragle is the batter now for the Western Lady Warriors.
Jada is the third baseman for the Lady Warriors. Boy, that was a nice pitch right there, but good call by the umpire. Just a skosh outside, as they say down here in the south end of Bay City.
Very, very nicely done again. And as you just mentioned, Kukla really looks like she's feeling her rhythm and spotting her pitches again in the neighborhood she wants them to be. And she's quickly out ahead of Bragle, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, she seems really comfortable out there on the mound today, Jeff.
As that ball finds a hole between third and short, and Bragle with a nice base hit to left field. And
boy, there's a name that's been around Bay City Western for many, many years, the Bragle name. That's a family that's been out there forever.
Well, and I believe that Pops Bragle still might be doing some scoreboard work out there, especially during football.
Yeah.
As the batter right now is Morgan French for the Lady Warriors. But again, you're right. Many, many years of Bragle family.
Yes.
As it isn't just all one family. It's a big clan, and they have great passion for their Western Warrior athletics.
Morgan French is the catcher for the Lady Warriors. She's wearing number 8. Got 1 ball, 2 no balls, 2 strikes. And 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
There's another
going to
foul
make her
ball.
work. It's going to make Kukla work.
And that's the thing of softball versus baseball. The motion of the pitcher is a little easier on your arm than it is the baseball pitch. Maybe a little bit less on the shoulder and a little bit less on the elbow. As great pitch just tied up the batter, and French out for number 2 here in the top of the second inning, as Charlotte Weibel, will be the batter. It was put in here wrong and corrected, so I said it wrong and corrected it. I guess we're all back on the same page.
Well, Charlotte is the right fielder for Bay City Western. Fouls that bunt off. No balls, 1 strike for Charlotte. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Bay City Central 1, and the Warriors from Bay City Western yet to get on the scoreboard.
As Kukla again rocks into her motion, and there's a nice softball, and that goes from Kylie to Hemingway, 4-3 for out number 3 of the top of the second. At the end of 1.5, Bay City Central 1, Western nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local destination for custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional goods in the Great Lakes Bay region. With not 1, not 2, but 3 convenient locations right here in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, we're your MVP when it comes to branded gear that hits the mark. For over 15 years, we've believed in community, in delivering top-tier quality, and in making your brand shine brighter than ever. And guess what? We're not just about sports. From schools to clubs, from businesses to community events, we're your one-stop shop for custom apparel that makes a statement. So if you're ready to elevate your brand, to make an impact, and to fuel your passion, choose Sandlot. Visit us today at one of our 3 unbeatable locations in the Great Lakes Bay region, or check us out online at sandlotsports301.com. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your brand, our passion.
Back ready to roll in the bottom half of the second inning. Seamer on the mound, a little outside with that first offering. Veronic, the hitter for Bay City Central. Is again, what a picture-perfect day for baseball, for softball, for anything. Spring sports. And the fans will tell you, as we talked earlier, they are so grateful to have a day where they can be out here in shirt sleeves.
You know, we've talked before, Jeff, it is a nightmare for athletic directors, transportation directors, and everybody when in the spring sports and you have to cancel and try to juggle to make those games up. It is a massive undertaking for those folks.
It is more than a nightmare because, first off, your facility has to be available.
Yep.
Then both teams have to be available. Then you got to hope that you can find officials that are not already booked.
And no, that's a hard thing to do. Even that's probably the hardest thing to do is make sure you got officials to be able to do the game.
As again, it's a very soft shot sent over as
Bregel
did a great job to get that ball to first base, and she just very calmly knew she had time to gobble it up, and strong throw to first gets the Central runner out by a couple of steps.
It was Bregel to Leah Schumann over at first base for the Lady Warriors. 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Just a little bit low and outside the Central batter is Kylie. Bay City Central with those great purple and gold batters helmets is very, very colorful, and
I like the matte look on them.
Yep, and the purple uniform, so they wanted to be Prapalicious today for the Big Western matchup.
What? They wanted to be what?
It's in the thesaurus. You just haven't seen it before.
I don't know.
Prapalicious.
That's a word?
No. It is now.
It must mean well dressed or something.
It will be
it is
added to the thesaurus in 26.
It's a Bay County TV dictionary written by Jeff Doan. Oh boy.
It's
a good way to end the year for us, my
yes,
friend.
indeed. We always come up with something.
Nice pitch.
On the outside, that's strike number 2. Is Bay City Central nobody on base right now with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Had that 1-0 lead. And strike 3, again expanding that strike zone, and
He's found a little bit of a comfort zone out on the mound as Zemer for the Lady Warriors. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning, 1-0. Bay City Central up over the Warriors of Bay City Western in the annual arch rival game here at Bay City Central's home fields.
I like the way that Zemer just took a little bit off of that 2-strike pitch and, now goes right back into the same location. And it's like if the Central hitters are not going to lay off that pitch, it makes perfect sense to continue trying to put that ball out there and see if Central can hit it.
She's put herself in some good pitchers counts, as Zemer. Zuba is the batter for Bay City Central.
So,
number 1 for the Lady Wolves.
And that ball to left field, and boy, again, looked like it was struck pretty good, but hung up in the air. Nice play by the left fielder.
Fallstick.
So
Haley Fallstick for Bay City Western.
So we've played 2 innings, and after 2, it's Central 1 and Western nothing. Back for the top of the third in a moment on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here at the top of the third inning on Bay County TV. Sometimes between half innings is just as much fun as our airtime. As that ball is bunted down the first baseline, and Hemingway does a nice job of flipping that ball. But how about the speed at which the batter, number 1, gets down there, and that is Grandison.
Yeah,
okay.
She really hustled down that line, but Hemingway did a nice job. Good call by the umpire down there. And that was great hustle by Grandison down there, getting down to first base on a really, really tough play for Hemingway.
Well, and it just died at the right spot where Hemingway had to spend so much time. And great jump with that ball in the dirt, and anticipation puts that runner in second base in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the third.
And that bunt just kind of died down there too, Jeff. It really well done.
It was perfectly put, and Lajeski with a swing and a miss as Kukla evens that count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Another one.
Another great bunt, and nice job that time of rotating to get that as Hemingway came in. Kylie comes over and covers first base, so great job of the catcher jumping out there, Don, but it was Kazmarek coming in and making that strong throw to first. So a lot of moving parts, very fundamentally sound on that play to pick up a very tough out for the Central defense.
Good fundamentals right there by the Warriors too, getting the runner over to third base with 1 out here in the top of the third inning, Jeff. So the Warriors, great opportunity with the runner in scoring position at third base.
Well, and with that happening, your shortstop has to make that decision with the third baseman coming in. Are they going to go to cover third, or what happens if there's a problem at first? Do you want to have a play at second? So all that happening right in front of the base runner with the third base coach right there, too, in Bill Siebold. So great decisions made that time, as that was just about a souvenir for Nick Page here, our cameraman.
We got one. We got one at Dow Diamond.
Yes, we did. We have not autographed it yet, but we ended up with a souvenir. If we had been over at Coryell, we could have traded it in for a free bag of popcorn.
Somebody's getting old.
Yes, indeed. That was back when the Peak Packing Company was in full bloom.
Right out there in left field.
It was full bloom, and I say bloom as it wasn't sometimes a tad bit on the pungent side, but it was still interesting as that came through a little bit of a hole in the netting, as that might be on the list for.
Is that on your facility list?
Well, the list is always lengthy. It's what you sometimes have to do to prioritize that lengthy list.
Well, they don't come down, if I'm not mistaken. If they stay up there year-round, and then the wintertime, if they get a little bit of ice on it or a little bit of freezing rain and some snow, that's coming right back at us.
And, you're right, the longevity on these things, because it takes so much more time, effort, and energy to put them up and down, that they have a normal life expectancy.
Which isn't very long.
No, it's not long enough, and especially when the athletic director's looking at their budget going, I don't know what I'm going to do, as the count now goes full on the Western Warriors, and that is, again, fall stick.
I got an idea. Maybe the facility guy over at Bay City Central, the athletic facility guy, takes a pay cut to pay for it.
He can't take anything back. He's already underpaid by the guy himself. As a great pitch that time, as Kukla just
that was some heat.
Brought that thing with great command and put that thing right at the knees, and picked up a huge
nice
out.
Yeah.
Second out, and again, that runner at third base just chomping at the bit. This puts a little bit of pressure on Don, though, to make sure they smother anything that comes in lower wide to the plate.
Still a big opportunity. Still got somebody on runner on third base. Lieski, if I'm not mistaken, over at third base for the Warriors. She's been over there for a couple batters now, Jeff. Warriors need to do something here and get her in to tie this game up. Grandison, I'm sorry.
Grandison, yep, as Kukla again comes with the heat, and just a little bit late on that offering are the Western Lady Warriors, as Zemer up to bat. And to help her cause, what a great job by Hemingway. Just picked that thing up and said, I'm going to tap at my toe on first base just because I can. Yes. So we've played 2.5 innings. Bay City Central maintaining a 1-0 lead. Back for the bottom of the third in a moment on BCTV.
Step up to life's challenges. Covenant Healthcare helps you stay one step ahead. As the most preferred health system for orthopedics, we're leading the way with next-generation treatments like robotic-assisted joint replacements, advanced expertise for complex trauma injuries, and a personalized approach to sports medicine. With the largest orthopedic team, we're with you every step of the way. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
As we look at Old Glory out there coming right off of the bay, and that makes an 83-degree day feel like 75, and that's
comfortable.
Picture perfect here at the Bay City Central Complex. As the Central batter coming up,
Russell for the Lady Wolves.
Russell swings and misses at the offering. 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, just a perfect day with that breeze coming off the bay, and very nice job laying off a high and outside pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike here at Fran Danick Field at Bay City Central. And again, this time of year, as long as we don't get too much rain, it is plush conditions. As the grass is green, I don't see two dandelions out there. I think that's very permissible.
Oh yeah. That might be okay back when I was doing facilities, Jeff. But yeah, they look really nice. Nice.
Boy, what a perfectly placed bunt, and it just went outside the outstretched hands of Zemer. And had she been able to get it, it would have been a very close play at first base. But by the time they got through to short, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity that time.
Yep, Kyra Smith had her work cut out for her there. It was kind of like a quasi-bunt, quasi-swing, Jeff, and just kind of pushed it past the pitcher. But what a great play by Russell to get down to first base.
Yep, the swing and bunt is always a thing of beauty. And I was going to say, what would she be going back to first base for? Because I don't know if she thought that the ball was fouled off or what, but listening to her coaches, she was able to get her uni dirty and get in head first into second base.
She's got a big smile on her face out there, too. So,
well, you still have a smile as long as there is success at getting to where you're heading. And now going to third base as Zemer misses with the pitch wide and did not allow our catcher to be able to have a chance at it.
Well, and on the last play, Morgan French couldn't get it out of her glove quick enough, Jeff, so she just threw it right back to the pitcher. So Russell probably didn't see where the ball was at the time, so that's probably why she went down with the slide. And Mama will have to get the Tide sticks out tonight and wash that uniform for tomorrow.
Indeed, and you know what? It could have been a great deke also by the shortstop.
Yep.
Fake that throw wasn't going to come, and a lot of times they wait till the last second to see if you can deke the batter or the runner. As that ball to the outside, what a great changeup. Just could not find the strike zone. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. Again, Central with a runner at third, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. That ball just a little bit high. Boy, just missed. Zemer took an extra half second looking at home plate going, oh, you sure that wasn't close enough? We could
look good from up here.
Get one up. Full count, though, as Zemer's going to rock into the windup, and another foul ball that goes back and out of play. So nice opportunity that time for the Bay City Central Wolf batter.
Looks like that's number 11, Kukla, the pitcher, her second time around for the Lady Wolves.
Looking to help add to her lead, and that ball is going to be at second base, and that is an adventure as that second baseman really surrounded that, engulfed it, and then watched it come right down as very, very well done.
That's a tough play by Lieski out there on second base, Jeff, with this win. And, an extra run right here for either, team 2 or 3 would be really big with this win situation going on here at Frandanek Field.
That ball is off the mark for our second batter for Central.
The number 2, the catcher for Bay City Central Wolves, Don. They're getting to see their second time through the batting order here for Bay City Central.
That ball is hit the second base. Nice job that time to get it in play as the out is recorded.
Lieski over to Schumann, but with that hit or with that out, Jeff Fielder's choice over to first base, the Lady Wolves will pick up their second run of the game, and they're up 2-0 here in the bottom of the third inning.
So again, being able to manufacture that run, getting it base by base and in a position where that ground out scores a run, and that's what you truly called manufacturing the run. So 2-0 Central, and that ball just a little bit low and inside.
Looks like number 3, Kazmarek, is up for Bay City Central. Nobody on base for the Wolves right now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Just a little bit outside, so very hitter-friendly count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Nice insurance run right there by Bay City Central to go up 2-0, Jeff. That could be a big run for the rest of this ball game.
Kazmarek with a great hit, and what an even better play.
Kaylee Lieski goes to her left, stabs that ball with that glove, and makes a huge play for the Lady Warriors of Bay City Western.
At the end of 3 innings of play, Bay City Central 2, Western nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
Back here at the top of the 4th inning, Leah Schumann, the first batter for the Lady Warriors from Western. Going against Kukla on the mound, who's thrown a shutout in the first 3 innings. right down Broadway with that first strike.
Boy, you could hear it up here.
Yeah, that you're not going to find a much better pitch to hit on strike number one. As Kukla thought that Schumann was going to be ahead of that and trying to find that ball in foul territory. How about that great catch by Russell as she was out there and again fighting that the whole way because that ball was going away from her with the wind blowing in. She didn't give up on it and came up with a great number one out catch.
That was a long. She came a long ways to catch that softball, Jeff. You know, one thing nice about this field is many of it, you can sit out there in the outfield with your lawn chairs and bring your car up in here and play with the dog and get them all tired up. So this is a great place to for the fans to watch a softball game and baseball also.
Yeah, it is it's turned into a really high-end complex here. And again, the vision that they had some years ago with all this spare room, the only thing missing from it, they don't have room for the boys' JV field, which is still over at Kolb. So there is a little softwood to first base, and what a great job by Hemingway to pick it up. And I don't need to get to the bag. I'll just softly tag the runner on her way by. And that is out number 2, as coming to bat right now will be Jada Bregel.
Softball parents, baseball, track and field parents, they deserve a break with good weather. They fight through a lot of stuff during the springtime.
Yeah, when your kids are playing spring sports, you better know when you leave the house that you got 2 of everything in your car because
hand warmers and parkas and all sorts of stuff.
Yep, and again, we talked earlier, those igloos have turned into a popular thing now. Like you get into this little cocoon and you come to watch a ball game as that ball is drifted towards second base, and Kylie doing a great job of flipping it over to Hemingway, and boy, that was a pretty quick and easy inning for Kukla.
Very quick inning for Kukla, so she'll get some good rest when between innings.
All right, we'll be back for the bottom of the 4th in just a moment on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back as we're ready to roll here with the bottom of the 4th inning. Bay City Central starts with Eli Maciejewski up to bat, and we talked earlier about her propensity for hitting 3 base hits. So
she's had a few this year.
She has. She's had a few games where she's had multiples in one game. That thing is just a little bit high for the first ball. As she also likes to take that ball to right center. She's got a good ability to go with that outside pitch and not try to pull it. That ball is straight up in the air, and that ball will go foul as
they had 2 people calling for it, and they both just kind of backed off. Pitcher called first baseman called for it, then the catcher kind of stepped out there. So there was 3 people, and it just kind of fell in, and nobody caught the softball.
Well, I think Zemer had the best opportunity for it, but that ball got up in the air and really started going away from her, and I think she gave up on it, and nobody else stepped up to take charge. So another opportunity and a good break for Western that ball had enough tailspin on it to go foul. Otherwise, Maciejewski would have had herself a base hit.
It looked like one of your wet shots on that backspin you do on the golf course.
That's what I try to do. It just never seems to work like that. So on the outside, Maciejewski takes it again, and another hitter-friendly count at 3-1.
Yeah, that's always a tough play right there, Jeff, especially with the wind blowing in. And you're right. Fortunately, it came back into foul territory.
That ball is just on the outside corner, so we got a full count. But, again, it's important if you can't catch it to not touch it so that it has an opportunity to roll foul. And that's exactly – it was a fortuitous bounce for the Western Lady Warriors. Maciejewski sends that ball down the side, and what a great catch that time. Lieski makes a great catch, and Maciejewski comes back. And
she's had a nice game for the Lady Warriors tonight. She had a nice play at the end of the last inning. Big catch right there going out of bounds. Again, the wind pushing it that way. So she's had a nice game for the Lady Warriors.
Well, and you got to get after your first couple of steps to be even in a position to get over that far. So nice job, as Hemingway is the batter for Bay City Central. Of course, Dad, longtime teacher in the school district and former all-state football player at Central, and I believe went to Saginaw Valley on a football scholarship.
I think we called that name a few times in our days here on Bay County TV.
You're dating us now, brother.
Well, we're in that Medicare age, my friend.
Yep, I just heard the start of this season you get to hit from the new tees.
They call them the gold or the senior tees I moved up to this year for league. So I absolutely love it up there.
That makes a humongous difference. Hemingway again in a very hitter-friendly count. Just a little bit late on an offering. Had a good rip at a pitch from Zemer. And that will break the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was a nice-looking swing right there.
Again, not afraid to take it to the left side.
Nope, and you can, if you can't hear it, we're going to tell you the wind has picked up a little bit. You can feel it coming in the windows here and can kind of hear it through our microphone.
Very refreshing.
Very refreshing.
Full count right now for Hemingway. Another great job of fouling off a pitch that kind of got in on her hands a little bit. And
she almost got her teammate up there, number 12, on deck.
Got to make certain that you're...
she did. Veronica just did a little dance, getting away from that foul ball.
That's the new pregame style, too. I went over to the Coach Cheney before the game, and I said, hey,
were they rocking?
You got the music going here. I'm still waiting for him to play a song that I recognize. She goes, I think you might be here for a while, Mr. Doan.
They don't know. They're not going to do Tom Jones and Frank Sinatra here.
I was just going to say you don't hear anything from Neil Diamond out there. So it's all good. As Hemingway doing a great job of battling here and making this a 9-pitch at bat. Zemer just continues to say, man, what else can I do? I'm firing strikes here. And Hemingway's just doing a great job of waiting until she can tee up the one she wants. Zemer says, I'm trying to find one that'll get by her. The rock and the pitch. Great at bat.
That was a great at bat.
In unison there. We did that in stereo, brother. As again, whenever you can get into that 9-10 pitch at bat and find your way on base, that's gratifying.
Yeah, that was a nice at bat for Hemingway. She really battled Zemer to get that walk.
Now the dancing wolf in the batter's box for Bay City Central.
Veronica. She's right on her tootsies when that foul ball came her way.
Well, you better be on your toes, too, especially if you got a left-handed person, because that's where it's going to be coming off hot at you. And she's probably seen it once before because she was ready to sashay.
She was still practicing from the prom.
Yeah, that's coming up a week from today. As that ball goes down, and great job at first base on the out, and Hemingway safely down to second base.
Again, Kaylee Lieski covering first base, doing a nice job hanging on to that ball. And the umpire is going to say that the runner, Hemingway, is going to have to go back to first base. I don't know why that would be. But
well, they're going to have probably runner interference potentially. I didn't see as I was trying to watch what happened, and as I turned, the middle post was right in my way, and so Hemingway is back at first base. So
not sure. I didn't see what was happening either, Jeff. I know she went down, and Lieski got the tag.
I saw the aftermath of the collision.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what happened.
Well, both officials conferred and were in agreement that that's exactly what they saw and agreed on it. So
it probably was runner interference. for the Wolves.
And if there's runner's interference, I would say that could be because the batter runner went inside the line at first base and didn't allow the play to be made, so they must have ruled her out of the baseline. That's my unofficial guess. And that would be something that the home plate umpire would be able to verify because he's looking right down the pipe.
Yep.
2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs for Bay City Central here in the bottom of the 4th. Just a little bit low as
that was a good pitch.
Great location on that, right on the outside corner, but just came in ankle high, and 3-1, another hitter-friendly count for Bay City Central. As that ball is fouled off, as the Bay City Central batter.
Bronick. No, not Bronick. Kylie.
So Kylie battling to a full count. And that means certainly Hemingway will be on her way with 2 outs on this full count from first base. Just a little bit outside, and I believe that's ball 4.
Yeah, that was yep.
I was going to say you and I and Greta can't all be wrong up here. We were all 3 spot on. Just delayed reaction by the Bay City Central batters. So 2 on with 2 out right now. Bay City Central trying to mount a little 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 4th.
Zuba, the batter for Bay City Central. She is the shortstop for the Wolves.
She took a healthy rip at that first pitch, but
she
great
didn't get
location.
cheated on that, did she?
Not at all, as Zemer comes with the second offering, and that one is off of the third baseman.
Off the third baseman, Jada Brago for the Warriors. Don't look now, folks. Here we go. Bases loaded. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for the Wolves. And up is number 7, Russell, for Bay City Central. We're going to have a little confab on the mound for Bay City Western.
Well, let's have an opportunity to thank our great sponsors.
I was just about ready to say it'd be a great idea. Thank a great group of sponsors again this year. Covenant Healthcare, our good friends at Renew Physical Therapy, Frank's Great Outdoors out there on M13 on your way up north, the All Saints Booster Club, and the official apparel provider of Bay County TV, Sandlot Sports.
Now, who else is now the official apparel provider from Sandlot Sports? A new addition.
I'm going to tell you. It's the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
That is incredible. I know now that they're out, and before the banquet this year, I am going to go find a polo shirt and advertise proud.
We're in the process of talking about how we're going to get that logo out there. We're going to have our announcement party here pretty quick, and so things are going well. I'm going to call Nick up, and we'll put it on Bay County TV. So if anybody wants to come, they're more than welcome.
Is that going to be at Wannigan again this year?
It will be at Wannigan.
Nice.
It will be on June 9th at Wannigan's, 5:30 p.m., and we'll make our announcements.
Well, and I remember back, and we'll talk about it after this pitch,
Nice
is
pitch.
a swing and a miss by Russell. Is when Bay County TV went for a new logo, we went out to the graphics department at Delta, and we found some very creative options before we agreed on our logo. And that was kind of a fun thing for the kids, too, kind of a resume adder for those that ended up making that happen. And, boy, bases loaded. Zemer doing a great job of getting out of a jam and getting Russell. More on that in a minute as we go to the top of the 5th. Bay City Central on top 2-0. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Here is where the next generation is born. But we're also the birthplace of innovation, advanced treatments, second chances, and hope. At Covenant Healthcare, we're the most preferred health system because of the trust we have built across generations. And our leadership continues with the next generation. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
Here we go with the top of the 5th inning. Up to bat for the Western Warriors is number 8, and that is Fallstick. Ball stick takes ball one here in the top of the fifth. This ball game moving right along,
It
Coach.
is moving right along. Falstick, the left fielder for the Bay City Western Warriors, just a bit outside from Kukla. Kukla's still out there.
You most generally, unless somebody's really getting rocked hard, you'll see them complete the game. And a lot of time Hemingway comes in and pitches the second game as there is a hit batter, and Morgan French is going to find herself on first base here, and what potentially is a very promising start if you're a Western Warrior fan.
Excuse me, was not Falstick, excuse me. That one just got away from Kukla. We haven't seen that too much from her today. That one just got away, and big break for Bay City Western with a man on first, nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning.
Weibel up to bat, and that ball is bunted, and I'll tell you, probably the most harrowing spot on the field defensively is that third baseman as they're rushing in. They show bunt, and I hope you finish showing bunt, because if you turn it squared up, I got about a tenth of a second to see if I need to go visit the dentist or not.
Get one right in the chompers.
No balls and one strike for Weibel. Dropping another bunt down, and that goes foul, and a nice job by Bay City Central. Once that ball goes foul, don't give up on it. You got to touch that ball foul in case it hits something and comes back fair.
You've seen that happen many, many times. Hits that chalk line and comes back into fair territory.
You know, it can hit just a footprint or a pebble or something and change directions, and then it ends up being an oh my. What a great pitch that time as Kukla paints the inside corner for the strikeout and out number one.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch. That was one of her better pitchers tonight at the 0-2 count. That was a pitcher's count right there, Jeff, for Kukla. Nice job there.
Gransden, the batter for Western, and there is a swinging bunt, and nobody covering at first base as there was a little bit of miscommunication, and they're going to get that ball back into the infield right now, and both Hemingway and Kylie both talking about it, and tough break for Bay City Central because that was a real opportunity for out number two here, and a break for Western, see if they can materialize.
This is a big opportunity for the Warriors, Jeff. One out here in the top of the fifth inning, and the Wolves up 2-0.
Lajeski up to bat right now, and she's made it happen a lot defensively. See if she can contribute on the offensive end.
She's done a nice job for the Warriors, Jeff. Big plays the last 2 innings defensively. And let's see what the young lady has in store on the offensive side of the softball.
Nice job that time of taking the double play in the force out. So now 2 ducks on the pond in scoring position for Lajeski. 1 down here in the top of the fifth. And that ball is smoked up the middle, and that is most certainly going to score 2 runs. As then not hitting the cutoff person will allow Lajeski to go down to second base, and that probably is something if Central has to do it over again. You hit the cutoff and you keep that runner at first base.
Nice job by Lajeski going right between second base and the second baseman for Bay City Central, Jeff. That was smoked. That was a nice hit, and she's had a wonderful game for Bay City Western.
Well, we talked about how she's made big plays defensively, and so she says, I don't want to just be known as a great play defensive player, and she really smoked that ball up the middle.
That was hard hit.
So great opportunity now for Western as they have evened the score with still only 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning. An opportunity for them to take the lead over Bay City Central. Foul right back on the screen, and, you know, in a low-scoring game like this, you really have to maximize your opportunities.
You really do. It's like the wind has calmed down to almost nothing, Jeff. O'Gorey's out there just not even moving. We don't feel it blowing like we did last inning here.
It's a big difference than it was just an inning and a half ago, and as soon as you say something, we feel a little gust of breeze coming in the window. But it's very refreshing up here today, though, on a very, very nice late spring day. 2 balls, 2 strikes as Kukla has that ball go off of Russell's glove, and that is going to potentially cause another run to score. And
that ball is well hit, too. That was on a line.
And again, you go, how can the left fielder miss that? The ball is dancing because of the wind. And again, it just started to gust a little bit. So you think it's going to be calm, and now it gusts, and that ball dances a little bit, and it goes off of your glove.
Kind of knuckleballs a little bit when it gets out towards you. Big inning right here for Bay City Western. They've scored 3, and they are up 3-2 over the Wolves here in the top of the 5th inning.
So the top of the 5th has been very friendly thus far for the Lady Warriors. As again, all 3 of the runs in this game have come in this half inning and just missed on the outside corner. And Kukla kind of gave that last second stare trying to see if she could entice that strike.
Looks like Zemer is up for Bay City Western, the pitcher for the Warriors. 1-1 to Zemer, 1 out.
Again, just a little bit low and outside as Kukla really trying to paint the corners right now here on the top of the 5th.
Yeah, bats came alive for Bay City Western with Lieski with a double.
And right on the outside corner, so Kukla stays with that painting of the corner, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hope it's full count. So Kukla has that ball, softly hit the second, and unable to pick that ball up. Kylie actually probably had more time than she tried, but she tried to hurry that throw, and she picked her head up off the ball, and another break for the Western Warriors. And nice job for Bay City Central to just kind of regroup here and know this situation, because you're almost 100% certain, Mike, that runner from first is going to take off to second. That runner at third is a very important run, number 4, so strategy has taken place.
I think that's what they're talking about right now, Jeff. They're going out. If she steals, we're going to let her go. We cannot afford to get another run across and make this game 4-2. We got to keep it at 3-2. Let's get out of this inning. Let's get our bats going and get this lead back. So that's probably what they're talking about right now.
Well, and Bill Siebold obviously has a plan for what he wants to do. And a lot of times they'll run that person halfway down to second and get them to just stop. So we'll find out what strategies now, as, boy, there's a whole lot of frontal lobe firing in sequence here for both teams.
There's a lot of moving parts to the game of softball and baseball, Jeff.
As Leah Schumann, the cleanup hitter, is in a very good spot for her. And that ball does head down, and a very nice move by Central to, if you catch that person napping at third, you have an opportunity to get him. But now Leah Schumann, even though she took strike 1, has an opportunity with 2 ducks on the pond here in the top of the 5th. Right back at us. Thank goodness for the screen. That one would have been.
It comes right at us.
No balls and 2 strikes. So this is a very, very big out for Bay City Central and Kukla too, and an opportunity for Western to really blow this game open with another base hit. Another one coming right back, and might have hit Nick Page, too. He'd have a whole handful of souvenirs. His cat-like quickness, he'd have scooped that ball up like nothing. He doesn't need a glove. Kukla again at 0-2. Let's see if Kukla goes upstairs, if she changes speeds, what she's got in store for Schumann here. She does go upstairs and gets the big second out right now, and now you've got the third out potential at first base. So very nice opportunity right now, as looks like Kyra Smith will be the number 5 hitter in the lineup for the Western Warriors. Again, Kukla staying upstairs. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, Kyra's the shortstop for the Lady Warriors, and Kukla's done a nice job. A couple little hiccups there this inning to give Western the lead, but overall, she's did a tremendous job today.
Boy, and that one
went off the arm.
Yep. I had said I couldn't tell if it was off the chest protector or off the arm, but body language signified arm.
And the referee's, when he stands out in front of the plate, going to give her a little bit of extra time because that hit nothing but the arm. There was no padding there at all.
Well, and you're right. That is something that a good umpire is always going to do. They're going to take their time. They're going to make sure it doesn't need cleaning, but I'm going to be very thorough with cleaning it.
Yep.
And then before he gets ready to say play ball, he's going to ask the catcher, are you okay to go? And that's just a very sportsmanlike job by our umpire. So, look, there's a quick conversation. You all right? Yep. I'm all right. It's not going to hurt till morning, so let's play ball. You're going to go stretch in the morning and feel like you're our age.
Thank God it's not you and I down there.
It's first pitch.
We'd have the Ben Gay, the whirlpool, the heating pad.
And
still wouldn't feel good.
And it'd still cramp up on us. So 1 ball and no strikes here with 2 on and 2 out. Ball is just foul and out of play. So 1 ball and 1 strike for the Western Warrior batter. Kyra Smith. As it is a huge, huge time in this ball game right now. Kukla goes upstairs. That's pretty much been her standard MO with 2 strikes to try and go upstairs to
good eye.
Make that happen, and great job by Smith to lay off that high heat.
You want to. Sometimes you want to go after that riser, and that you got to lay off that thing.
And again, going right back upstairs, and superb job that time as Smith just lays off it, and on a full count pitch too. Your runner from second is going to anything gets in the outfield grass, probably going to have an opportunity to score. As that ball goes to the shortstop and going to be just a little bit late as Zuba could not get that ball to Hemingway. And a huge insurance run for the Western Lady Warriors.
That's a big run right there for Bay City Western. And that's with 2 outs. And we still got first and third. They're up 4-2 here in the top of the 5th. Just an offensive explosion for Bay City Western.
And, protocol says when that runner is where they're at that the base umpire is going to be back in the slot at short. I wish they would change that rule because that is really hard to make a bang-bang call from that far away, but they've done it for years, and their studies must show that it's the most effective spot to be. But as an umpire, I never liked having to make that call from that far away on the field.
That's a stretch.
That ball is up in the zone again. Western continues to get their road runner base path as they go down to second base again with 2 ducks on the pond and trying to add what is already a 5-run outburst here in the top of the 5th. Central trying to stop the bleeding. You're right, only 4. So I didn't have one for the thumb.
I can't see 2 feet in front of me, but I can see that scoreboard out there.
So Central hoping to only stay down by 2 runs. As Kukla sends an offering, and just a little bit late on the swing is Bregel.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Bregel, 2 out. Big inning for the Warriors. They're up 4-2 in the top of the 5th. That was a nice pitch.
Great third
nice
strike
pitch.
as Kukla with a sigh of relief as they finally get done with that inning. But 4 runs in the top of the 5th as the Warriors take the lead 4-2. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here for the bottom of the 5th. Bay City Central got some work to do as they were +2. Now they're -2 as that first pitch is high and tight to number 11.
Number 11 is the pitcher for the Bay City Central Wolves, Kukla. Her 3rd time around.
That ball right at the letters.
Evens the count at 1-1 for Kuka. We're 4-2. Bay City Western with a big top of the fifth, scoring 4 runs to take the lead over Bay City Central.
Now, Zemer sat for a while here while this was going on,
rest.
so we're going to find out if that is good or bad for her, but first 3 pitches, she looks like she's got a little zest in her delivery.
You know, that's a great point, Jeff. She sat for a long time resting that arm, so she's going to have a fresh arm out there here in the bottom of the fifth. And, again, softballs, you can get right back in this. It doesn't take long. Couple hits, couple stolen bases, and before you know it, you're right. You could be right back in this ball game.
Well, Central, fortunate being the home team, has got 3 at-bats to come up with the 2 runs to tie or 3 to take the lead. So big half inning is another foul ball.
And Kuka still looks strong out there. Even though they got to her, she still looked pretty strong in the top of the fifth. They hit some good pitches, did the Lady Warriors, to get them this 4-2 lead.
And, Kukla probably wished that a couple of defensive plays had gone differently, but, hey, that's all part of the game you battle through. As that ball is just on the outside corner, and Kukla takes a called 3rd strike. And
that was on the black.
It was very, very close, but, again, with 2 strikes, you do not leave that to the discretion of the umpire.
Well, and we've talked many times during our broadcast, Jeff, one thing that we ask from our officials, our umpires and our officials, all we ask is that you be consistent during the whole game for both squads.
And they certainly have been, as that ball is outside for ball number 1. As Don is up to bat, trying to get some base activity for Bay City Central to try and cut into this 2-run deficit here in the bottom of the 5th. Don just with a cut in a small piece of it. So 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Zemer taking her time right now to the windup, and that ball is inside as she's really moving the ball around in and out and up and down, trying to keep the Central batters off balance.
Well, you get a little bit more relaxed. You feel a little bit better when you got a 2-run lead going into the bottom of the 5th.
You don't have to be quite as perfect.
Nope.
As that ball had some English on it as it rolls around and went from short to first for the out.
That was Kyra Smith over to Leah Schumann for the Warriors. That's out number 2 for the Central Wolves. And again, they are down 4-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And it was going to be very interesting to see how that ball ended up going to Smith, because that had a little reverse spin on it coming off of the left side, and just gobbled it up in a hurry. And look at Schumann with a great unassisted play at first base for that 3rd out of the inning. So we've played 5 at Bay City Central with Western on top 4-2. Back in a moment on BCTV.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect for all those involved in the game.
Enjoy the game.
Back ready to roll the top of the 6th inning. Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you. We got Nick Page producing, directing, and filming, as we have got number 8, Morgan French, up to bat here to the top of the 6th. And, boy, through 4 innings, Central looked like they were in control.
Yeah.
The 5th inning was the charm for the Western offense.
Yeah, Western's done a nice job. Their bats have exploded in the top of the 5th, putting 4 on the board. And again, Kukla's still looking strong. And Zemer, we got some 2 good pitchers here working the mound today.
Yeah, they're both moving the ball around in and out and up and down, changing speeds, trying to keep batters off balance. And there's a foul tip.
Working the circle, I should say, is what I.
Yes, indeed.
Not the mound, the circle.
The big circle.
The 16-footer.
And sitting up here earlier, we smelled the dogs. Now we're smelling the popcorn. So it's going to be hard for us to stay focused here, knowing all that good food's just below us. There's a nice change of speed, and Kukla says, I'm going to gobble this one up myself to get out number one unassisted.
One unassisted. You're right. Out number one for the Warriors here in the top of the sixth. Up 4-2 over the Bay City Central Wolves here on the McGregor grounds. But, you know, if you had never had a chance to check out this complex, get on over. It's right behind the old McGregor Elementary School. That's still open. It's been there a long time.
It has been. Back in the day was intermediate.
Intermediate school.
As that ball is down, and nice job, but unable to come back down was Kylie on that throw from Kazmarek. So pulled her up off the base and looked like she just couldn't get that foot back down in time. Your momentum's taking you away, and to get back down, it's a timing thing. And another base runner for the Western Warrior offense.
Good call by the umpire, Jeff. He was right there. Made a great call.
That ball just over the netting and just over the roof.
And over onto 30th Street. Is that 30th over there?
32nd.
32nd Street.
Yep. 32th. As Kukla again trying to come, and
she's going to be doubled off.
There is a huge double play for Bay City Central, as again miscommunication ends up at a break. As much as Western got one of those earlier in the game, a little this for that.
Miscommunication right there by Western. Great communication by the Bay City Central Wolves to get it back to first base on time for the double up.
And we'll come back for the bottom of the sixth in just a moment here on Bay County TV. Founded in 2011, Renew Physical Therapy has quickly become the Great Lakes Bay region's fastest-growing patient-centered physical therapy and rehabilitation specialists. With 16 locations to serve you, our friendly, highly qualified staff of physical, occupational, and massage therapists take great pride in offering one-on-one treatments through customized plans to help you achieve the best possible outcome for your health. Our offices accept most major insurances and are well-versed in navigating the complexities of insurance policies, ensuring you receive the coverage and benefits you deserve. Visit our website at renewpt.com to request your appointment today. Here we are with the bottom of the sixth. Zemer on the mound after she's been given that beautiful 4-run fifth inning to give their team a 2-run lead. First pitch is a strike.
Maciejewski is the batter for Bay City Central. Got 2 more opportunities, Jeff. Bottom of the sixth, bottom of the seventh to get back into this game. They're down 4-2, but lots of softball to be played yet.
I can see her wanting to go right center, and she crowded the plate a little bit, looking for something out over the plate, and Zemer did a great job of painting the inside corner.
That's both of theirs, isn't it?
Yep.
Last I remember.
Yep, they both are doing a great job of moving that around, and that ball on the outside, that's a ball that if she chooses to go, that's a ball that she takes to right center field.
Well, and in the scouting report, you're probably thinking, is this really the young lady, the batter for Central, Maciejewski, that we want her to really get something to hit the way she's been on fire this year? Boy, that was a nice pitch right there by Zemer.
Paint the corner again as great big first out of the sixth, bottom of the sixth for the Western defense. Hemingway up to bat for Bay City Central. Another Central player with extra base hit abilities. As she's just a little late on the offering of strike number 1.
Remember the last time she was up, Jeff, she had, 9 pitch at bat, made it very difficult on Zemer and got a walk after fouling off a whole bunch of pitches. So let's see what you can do at this stage of the game.
0-1 count. Just a little bit inside, just missed. And Zemer kind of put that ball exactly where she wanted to, and it just missed inside by an inch. 1 ball in, 1 strike with 1 out. Hemingway again, great eye at the plate, and boy, when you see that many pitches, you're prone to find a mistake and hit it someplace.
Well, and at this point in the game, you got to be a patient hitter. You have to make sure you get a good one to hit, and and take those balls and get on base. There's a nice hit right up the middle to the center field, Grandison for the Warriors, and Hemingway with a big hit on to first base. It'll be 1 out, 1 on for Bay City Central, and up for the Bay City Central Wolves is number 12, Baronic, the center fielder for Bay City Central.
So Baronic is looking at that first pitch, and again, Zemer really has found a groove on that outside corner, and she's going to stay with it.
That was another nice pitch.
No balls, 1 strike. Zemer rocks, and that ball is fouled off, out of play. It's always great because there's always a few kids that think it's fun to go and chase the balls, and the adults say, hey, just watch for cars, but yeah, go get it.
Yeah, we're right on the corner here, so right in the middle of a neighborhood.
And the train already went through earlier.
Did
It's just a big day. There's another base hit and extra bases. As trying to move around the base path right now, and boy, miscommunication. That could have been a 3-base hit, as Hemingway did not pick up the third base coach or hear them saying to come. And Central still with 2 on and 1 out, and an opportunity to make something happen, but that would have been 2 ducks on the pond.
Yeah, it would have been on second and third. Baronic just laced that one all the way to the wall. Out there in right center field, that was smoked by Baronic.
Well, in your 3rd time through the lineup, too, you're pretty familiar with what you're going to see from Zemer. And that ball, again, Zemer has that thing just knock her glove off, but she is able to look right straight down, have that thing there, but another ball that was just smoked by the Central Lady Wolves.
That thing, she's lucky she had her glove there, because that would have got a piece of her body if she didn't have her glove there. That thing was hit really, really hard.
There's no infield fly rule there.
No, not at all.
So Coach Siebold is probably going to come out right now and talk strategy and make certain that his pitcher is okay.
We'll talk a little bit. Want to thank our sponsors again, Jeff, our official apparel provider, Sandlot Sports, the All Saints Booster Club, Frank's Great Outdoors. We had the opportunity to tour that a few years back. What a great facility. Our friends, the Clayfish boys, Bobby and Tony at Renew Physical Therapy, and that great staff. And your old friends over at Covenant Healthcare that been on board with us for a long time. We couldn't do without them. We appreciate them every single year we get an opportunity to work with them.
It just, our gratitude never ends for their support to keep us on the air and make it happen.
Great group of sponsors again this year, and we'll be coming out before beginning of the next year. Looking forward to talking to them.
It is. Fall is quickly approaching, as we're going to have to get things ready and get that schedule together pretty soon. All people's football schedules are out, so we'll have to have a little soiree over at the Bay County building with Nick Page and see if we can put things together for fall.
Up there in the penthouse.
As that ball is just smoked foul as the Central batter number 1 up to bat.
Zuba is up to bat. Bay City Central, 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs for the Wolves, and they are down 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So a huge point in this game here in the 6th inning. 2 on and 2 out, as Mike Guisdala just said, and that is a perfectly placed strike. Kind of took a little bit off it, put it on the inside corner, and just froze Zuba.
This is a pitcher's count right here. 1 and 2, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Central down 2. Ooh, just got
a piece of the high heat. Coming with the high cheese that time.
So Kramer said, "It's my plate. I'm coming with the cheese."
Zemer again in a 1-ball and 2-strike count. Central looking to dent that 4-2 deficit with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. on the outside corner where it's been a strike all day and continues to be a strike. So Central leaves a couple of ducks on the pond. We're going to go to the top of the 7th right now. Western 4, Central 2, back in a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Here is the offensive and defensive star of the game for the Western Warriors. Lieski, as she has made it happen on on second base, and also with a huge hit in that 5th inning.
Yeah, she's played a whale of a game for Bay City Western. Really started that rally in the top of the 5th for the Warriors.
As that ball is hit into right field, it's foul, but Maciejewski just gobbles that thing up. And again, the wind has died down a little bit, so the ball isn't quite dancing like it was earlier, but Maciejewski really engulfed that thing and made a great first out for Bay City Central defense.
Central's got to make this a quick inning and can't put any more runs on the board for Bay City Western if you're a Central Wolf.
And a false stick, the batter for the Western Lady Warriors, is a Kukla again, still snapping that glove here in the 7th inning.
You can hear it all the way up here.
Boy, doing a great job just pounding the strike zone here in the top of the 7th. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. And that ball coming back, and did that one stick? Nope, it didn't. We got a big stick here that sometimes it kind of wraps up underneath and needs a little assistance to come back.
You know, as the athletic guy, you don't go up there and climb that fence and get those balls?
40 years ago, I might have. I wouldn't have any trouble going up, and just coming back down, it'd be a little trouble. It'd be a lookout below. So 1 ball, 2 strike count here with 1 out here on the top of the 7th. Kukla rocks into the motion.
Nice pitch.
Strike number 3 for out number 2.
Yeah, right on the fist right there, Jeff. That was going to be a tough pitch to hit. That was perfectly placed by Kukla. And hats off to both these pitchers tonight. They've done a tremendous job pitching the softball for both these squads.
Now Zemer up to bat, too. And, you know, you're hoping that ball is in on your fist, that you can at least get a piece of it to foul it off to live for another. But, again, just another great start this time as Kukla makes it a 0-1 count. Trying to expedite this 7th inning, and that's a foul ball that falls harmlessly. But again, 0-2 count right now, and Kukla's pretty much got anything available that she wants.
And Zemer, look at this. She's got an open stance, and then she kind of closes it down when the pitch gets there, and right on those chalk.
Yeah, I think that open to close really kind of sets your hips in, as the pitch from Kukla is for strike 3, and
here we go.
We're 3 outs away from knowing the outcome of this ball game. Back in a moment for the bottom of the 7th on Bay County TV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local source for team uniforms, sports spiritwear, and more. Gear up with confidence. We've got your team covered from head to toe, ensuring you stand out on and off the field. And that's not all. Unleash your team spirit with custom spiritwear that roars success. Wait, it gets better. Introducing our free fundraising online stores. Effortlessly raise funds for your team while showing your pride. Customize your fundraising to reach your team goals. Get started online at sandlotsports301.com or at any one of our 3 convenient Great Lakes Bay locations. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your team, our passion.
Zemer on the mound for the bottom of the 7th inning. Russell with the first swinging bunt miss. She's at 0-1. Bay City Central just desperately needs to find a way, Mike, to get a couple of base runners on.
And if you look at Old Glory, the wind's picked up again.
It is coming back as that ball is pretty well paced. Zemer goes back and makes a great play. Get Russell by a half a step.
That was a nice bunt, and Zemer did a nice job getting off the circle and getting it over to first base, over to Lieski for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Bay City Western 4 and the Bay City Central Wolves 2.
Where that bunt went, it was perfectly placed because you try and go between the third baseman and the pitcher, but Zemer did a great job of pouncing on it, spinning, and making a great, strong throw.
And I think the key to that was she was able to spin because she's left-handed, and when she spun, she could put a little more zip on that ball. And it was a close play, but it wasn't out.
But as you're spinning there, you've got to locate your target, and that's not an easy thing to do.
And those type of plays are practiced every day. That type, those bunts, those pitchers practice that every day, getting that over to first base.
Well, I'm sure Coach Siebold's going, yeah, we do that enough that it was just muscle memory on her part to make that happen. I'm glad we practiced it.
Well, that's like in baseball when the pitcher's got to cover first base. So that's done every day. It's repetition, and you just get used to doing it.
Yeah, it's repetition, it's rhythm, and it's confidence that person's going to be where they need to be. Zemer with that pitch is just a little bit high right now to Kukla. Central really set up well for the 7th with the top of the order coming up with just 1 out here. If they're going to make a run, I think they got to love the way that the lineup has turned around here for them in the 7th. Kukla just a little bit late on that offering and goes harmlessly down the first baseline.
Don on deck for Bay City Central. 1 out, 4-2. Western with a big 5th inning. They put up 4 in the 5th to get this 2-run lead over Bay City Central.
And great job that time of
good eye.
That pitch Central has offered at a lot today, so I think Zemer put that ball where she wanted to, but Central again now 4th time through the order. They've seen it and they lay it off it.
Good patience right there by Kukla.
So Don will be up right now to see if she can make something happen to move Kukla along. And that ball right up at the letters on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike, so always a little different pressure on the defense with somebody on base. A lot of moving parts. Don, the number 2 hitter, is up 3rd in this inning and has that ball go down. And great job by Don of hustling to first because the right fielder had visions of trying to throw her out.
Well, and a real good job by Kukla, Jeff, because it was kind of a soft liner, and she wasn't sure if Schumann or Lieski was going to be able to get that ball. And she had to hold up just for a bit, and then she made it the second 2 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Siebold going out to the mound right now and going to make a change as Nick Page spotted somebody in the Western bullpen earlier and got to be very, very happy with Zemer's effort, only giving up 2 runs here through 6 1/3.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good outing for Zemer. I'm not sure who's coming in. Looks like it's number 14 for Bay City Western, Jeff. And that looks like Miranda Tacey, the junior, one of the very few juniors underclassmen on the squad.
We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back in a moment on BCTV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back here, the drama is brewing here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 on, 1 out. Kazmarek up to bat for Bay City Central with runners on first and second base.
Couldn't script it any better.
Tacey has that come, and that will be infield fly rule. So out number 2, and Eli Maciejewski will be the last opportunity for Bay City Central. And let's see if Eli, she took a called 3rd strike on that outside corner before, so I think she'll be a little bit more acutely aware.
A little more selective. Good opportunity for the young lady.
Maciejewski with a big swing and a miss on that first pitch from Tacey. 2 outs right now. It's do or die time for Bay City Central. Maciejewski has that ball on the infield, and it is gobbled up by the shortstop Smith. And that's all there is.
There isn't any more.
The final score in our ball game, the Western Warriors with a big 4-run fifth with a 4-2 victory in Game 1 over Bay City Central. Back in a moment to put the wraps on this on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
Good afternoon and welcome back to our Renew Physical Therapy post-game wrap-up here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala. Very, very entertaining game this afternoon.
It really was, Jeff. It was a very well-played game, I thought. The couple kids really stood out for both squads, but the big top of the fifth inning for Bay City Western put 4 runs up, and they come out of here and beat Bay City Central on their home field 4-2 in game number 1.
And it's a game that is this late in the season. You're trying to build momentum for the postseason, and depending on how game 2 goes, Western's got to be very, very pleased with what they were able to do in the 5th inning.
Yeah, you know, and I think it all starts with Zemer. She just had a really tremendous game out there on the in the circle for Bay City Western, and then when they got that 4-2 lead, she kind of really settled down even a little bit more, throwing some nice pitches, and so she took advantage of it. And you take your hat off to Wilieski. 2 big defensive plays and started that big 4-run rally for the Warriors.
Yeah, I think she gets the player of the game for Western, making it happen both offensively and defensively. But Central, they're going to look back in this game and realize they had a couple of opportunities that they didn't cash in on, and a couple of mistakes defensively they wish they had back.
Yeah, you know, and that's all part of the game. You got to, like you said during the broadcast, you got to work your way through that, Jeff. And they had their opportunities. They just couldn't get those extra runs across the plate. And we talked how precious runs are in a game like this, a low-scoring game. But, you know, I think Kuko did a really nice job on the mound in the circle for Bay City Central. They've got some players at Bay City Central, and the future looks bright for that squad also.
I think Mother Nature shined on this game today, too, and I think the fans were elated to finally have a game where shirt sleeves were appropriate.
Yeah, you know, we talked during the broadcast. Spring sports parents are they're very good warriors, no pun intended, but they go through some weather like, you know, you don't want to go through, but they're always out there, and they deserve this great day. And it was a lot of fun coming back. We haven't been back here in a while. It was a lot of fun seeing everybody, and a great game, and you know what? That's all you can ask for from these kids is they play hard and give it everything they got.
Well, and we got to thank Allison Sobchak again for her allowing us to be up here and the hospitality that they always extend us here at Bay City Central.
Yeah, we get spoiled. We get the best seat in the house, and we get a lot of good games, and then once in a while they throw us a dog or a bag of popcorn or a bottle of water. And you know, now that this is probably our last game, we want to thank all the districts for letting us into their home, and they treat us really well, and we greatly appreciate what they do for us and letting us spend some time with them.
Well, it's always sad to look at the end of our regular season of spring sports, but boy, fall just around the corner, and we'll have another exciting football season. There's a lot to be excited about in Bay County football this fall.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fall, Jeff. You know, we're going to take maybe a week or 10 days off. We'll get that football schedule, and Nick will work on that, and we'll get some great games. And you know, it's always special when football season rolls around. The Lions start the training camp, the high schools start, the bands start playing and practicing early in college football. You know, so I think we're going to have another good 25, 26 athletic years. We're hoping some good sponsors jump on board again, and I hope everybody enjoys watching it. And of course, thanks to you for let me sit at your right side for the last 30 years, my friend.
Well, it's been 30 years. We're looking to do 30 more. We'll probably be eating applesauce and cottage cheese at 30, but always a pleasure to have you by my side.
I appreciate it, Jeff. You do a great job. And Nick, as always, another great job. Big thanks to, I know TJ started the year out. Jason Newsham started the year out. Thanks to Mike Vincent for what he has done to help out in tight spots when we need somebody. So it's a team effort, and we just love it. It's for 30 years we've been doing this. It's a lot of fun.
And we love our family, and we thank you for allowing us to come into your living rooms each and every week as well. So on behalf of the whole crew, thanks for a great year. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.
We'll see you next year.